Hey guys, Chris here with Simply Japanese Maples, and today we're going to talk about the 7 dwarfs. That's right, the 7 dwarfs. 7 small trees that fit into small garden spaces. So let's have a look. Okay, here we are. I know what you're thinking. If you do the math here, there's actually 8 trees here. Well, I'll explain that in a minute. So we're looking at trees for small spaces here. These are all trees that we have in stock this year. Of course, there's a million other trees we could talk about, but these are ones that we have here. So let's do an introduction here. We've got Golden Falls right here, and beside that we've got Yellow Cascade, which is this greeny yellow one here. So they're very similar. So they're going to go as a bit of a pair. So we're going to talk about those in a bit here. This is Kumo or Beni Kumo no Su, and this is a very finely delicate lace leaf. Beside that we have Seiyun Kaku, very similar to a Mikawa Yatsubusa with a leaf habit. We've got Shadava Gold beside that. Behind that we've got Shu Shadari. We've got a dwarf Goshiki Kotohaimi, the very tightly layered leaf habit. We've got a classic here in Red Dragon. Okay, so those are the small trees we're going to talk about. So I said that there was actually 8 trees here, not 7. So what I was talking about there is basically Golden Falls, Yellow Cascade, and Ryuzin are all very similar. They all have a very extreme cascading or weeping habit. So you can see here how these branches go down, very, very dramatic. So I've kind of lumped them in together. So what I love about these, they're not technically a dwarf, but they do have such a habit that you can basically grow them up to the height you want with a stake and then let them cascade down from there. Some people have even let these things kind of almost crawl along the ground. So they're kind of cool that way. They can fit into a lot of spaces. They kind of have a bit of a narrower profile and some really cool colors. Another thing, we've talked about this before, is they've got this palmate leaf shape, which is unusual, of course, for a weeper, because most of our weeping trees have the lace leaf style, right? So Golden Falls and Yellow Cascade. Now we just missed Yellow Cascades, more of a yellowy green with red tinged edges to the leaves. Now it's getting into more of a yellow green or a greeny yellow look. Golden Falls is still looking pretty great. So that's one. Now if we zoom on over here to Beni Kumo no Su, also known as red spider's web, for good reason, because these tiny little leaves, which are, I have big thumbs, but barely bigger than my thumb, and they're extremely delicate little leaves. So that's Beni Kumo no Su. Now this is a tree that's basically going to grow to be about 4 feet tall in 10 years. So a fairly slow growth rate. Certainly some dissectums can be twice that height in that same amount of time. Here's some of the newer growth here. So that's Beni Kumo no Su. Has kind of a red with some green when you first come out. And fall colors are red and orange. Or actually, sorry, fall colors are more of a fiery red. All right, beside that we've got Seiyun Kaku. That's very much like a Mikawa style with the leaf habit. Now this tree in a container is going to be quite a slow grower. In the ground, you'll probably get it to be 7 or 8 feet tall in around 15 years. So it takes quite a while. So it is quite a slow grower, but you're going to get even less than that in a container. So this is a great option to get a bit of that Mikawa look. And of course, Mikawas are not always easy to come by. So that's Seiyun Kaku. And that also has a red, fiery fall color. Now beside that is a bit of a giant. It's not supposed to be Shadava Gold. So it's quite huge. It's actually about 5 feet tall. I'm going to take it down here so you can see the bark color on this. It's kind of considered one of the coral barks, if you will. And it's got the pea green bark and really nice green leaves as well. So this was a broom mutation off of the parent plant of Ayagi, which is the much larger upright version of this. So this one will be about 6 feet tall over time. We'll apparently this one's almost 6 feet tall right now, so it's going to have to start branching out sideways. So that's Shadava Gold, and that's got a yellow fall color. So expect Shadava Gold 7-8 feet maybe in 15 years. So this is actually more of a true dwarf. There's another lace leaf in the back here. We've got Shu Shadare. This one has nice orange and red and green leaves in the spring, getting to be a bit more orange and green in the summer. And then in the fall, we've got orange and reds. Now, just for some perspective here, I'm going to put Beni Kumonosu next to Shu Shadare, and you can see the difference in the leaves, or I'm not sure if you can tell there, but basically the leaves on Shu Shadare are about 4 or 5 times bigger. So they're almost the size of the palm of my hands versus these ones, as we talked about, which are barely bigger than my thumb. So really interesting. And Shu Shadare is going to be a relatively slow grower as well. So we're talking about 4 feet in 10 years, which really is about half the growth rate of many, like I guess the majority really of our disectums. So there you go, that's Shu Shadare. Now right to the left here is a classic red dragon. Everyone loves red dragon. It's a great tree that holds its red color all year long. Great looking leaves. Fiery red fall color. And a tree that tops out typically around 8 feet tall. So a pretty useful tree for smaller spaces, like all of these are, as we mentioned. But that's a great one. So that's Acer palmatum red dragon. Behind that we've got Goshiki Kotohime. Now this one has extreme tight layered leaves. So I'm going to throw Seiyun Kaku right back next to it, and we can kind of compare the two. So yeah, Seiyun Kaku has very tight leaves, but in terms of these two, Goshiki Kotohime takes the cake. And that comes out, has these kind of almost a bronze, greeny red leaves in the spring, and then you can see new growth on top of it has tinged pinky red. And this is a tree that's going to really grow to be about 3 feet tall in 10 years with extreme tight layered leaves, as I said. So fall color on this is orange red. So there you have it, guys. There's 7 trees. We'll say Yellow Cascade, Beni Kumonosu, the red spider's web, Seiyun Kaku, Shadava Gold, Shu Shadare, Goshiki Kotohime, and Red Dragon. Those are 7 great trees for small spaces. Now 3 honorable mentions right here. We've got Baby Ghost, which is perhaps the smallest of the Ghost series, and that one grows to about 8 or 9 feet over time. We've got Chantilly Lace, which is an absolutely fabulous lace leaf that almost is multicolored throughout the season. And that's a small weeper, grows to about 8 or 9 feet over time. And to the left here is Mikazuki, which is really cool too. This was one of the, again, not called a ghost, but it was one of the reticulated forms early on. And this is a great tree that's going to really top out around 8 to 10 feet tall. So there you have it, folks. There's 7 great trees. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Snow White today, but we did get to talk to the dwarves, so that was awesome. If you have any questions about any of those trees, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those. In the meantime, find our trees at Simply Japanese Maples, and until next time.